Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about this ice storm that just recently hit some of the U.S. in the southern part, the snowstorm that just recently hit the East Coast, and a snow and ice storm that could be coming to the U.S. mid-February. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. As we've seen this huge ice storm come into southern Midwest and northeast part of uh, the U.S., and it's been very, very dangerous. This is a look at a road here, as you may have seen on social media. This is a look at a road in the U.S. This is in Tennessee. This is a road, and what most roads have looked like in this area with all this ice, and some roads still continue to look similar to this as we continue to see this ice melt and then refreeze overnight, and that has caused lots of cancellations, flight cancellations, and we continue to see icy roads, bridges, overpasses, stuff like that. School cancellations have been huge recently. So, on that, we are continuing to see lots of, different things. This storm has continued to linger. We've had stalled temperature boundaries, cold air that is locked in at the surface, and waves of precipitation have even come in this weekend, as we've seen in the East Coast, and some moving even more west than that. We saw some snow flurries. This precipitation happened this weekend from the recent storm that we've already had on the East Coast, and it brought a foot of snow in some areas on the East Coast. Back to the ice storm and snowstorm, winter storm Fern that recently hit the South, Midwest, and Northeast. In the Northeast areas, we saw almost a foot of snow in some areas. Areas like New York City, we saw almost a foot of snow. And that continues to stay. As you can see on my screen here, you can kind of see that warm sector line meeting in at the South, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, clipping Kentucky a little bit. You can see that, and we've got a lingering low pressure over here. The snow's melting a little bit, but it just refreezes overnight, and that's what we've seen continuously. We see temperatures get up during the day, and stuff melts off the trees and hits the roadways, and then it refreezes. And that's why it's very dangerous, because we see lots of black ice that can cause accidents. Another thing that we saw with a lot of these deaths that we've seen, multiple people dead in New York from these cold temperatures. We see carbon monoxide poisoning from improper heating in areas. Falling tree limbs could even do this. And generator misuse is a big thing as well. These have all caused deaths in some way, shape, or form. It's a really interesting story to see all this ice, and it's still lingering. Whether additional waves are expected when temperatures may rise and where ice could persist longest. Additional waves of snow and ice are expected mid-February, and temperatures will rise a little bit, and then we'll drop down to cold in a lot of areas. We're continuing to watch as that mid-February time period, we could see some snow and ice. Ice has persisted for many days in a lot, and ice and snow has persisted for many days in lots of areas. And so it's still continuing to cancel schools around the globe, or around the U.S. I would say mostly at risk people still. I mean, drivers, people without power. We're still seeing multiple people without power in the US. Uh, elderly populations from falling in areas not accustomed to ice storms, areas that aren't prepared. There was a lot of areas during this time that were not prepared because they thought, well, they predicted something wrong the first time, so guess what? It's not going to happen. That's when you have to really take responsibility for that, and for the next one, to make sure you pay attention and are ready for this ice storm. So, as we've seen, travel conditions have not been the best. Again, we've seen travel conditions that have been horrible during this time. Um, so, roads are not the best. I mean, that picture that we saw a while ago is from Tennessee, and some roads still look like that and did look like that. Roads all over the U.S. You want to stay off these roads. Black ice is still something that we are watching, and so you want to stay off these roads. These roads are very dangerous and should be avoided at this time until it fully melts. You might notice ice and snow still melting off trees. Some people have gotten all that snow off of trees at the time. But this water refreezes and turns roads into ice rinks. I mean, that's what we've continued to see. Again, going back, this storm has schools canceled for the entire weeks all over the country, and there's a reason for that. So we've seen minimal air movement, and where it is, it's mostly all low pressure. As I said earlier, there's ice melting off of these trees and then refreezing on the roads. And during the day, the sun melts it, but when night hits, it turns into sheets and sheets of ice. And that's going to continue to be a trend over time for just a little bit longer. And then we'll have all of that melt as we see a heat wave move in. Compared to what we've seen, it's going to feel like a heat wave. We're going to have above normal temperatures for most of the U.S., especially people who got hit. These lingering and freezing conditions alone can be dangerous, and you should be aware of the specifics wherever you live. So if there's somewhere you live and you need to know what's going on with you guys, just let us know in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to respond. We'll let you know what's going on where you live. This is not just during the storm event. These impacts have continued for days, and caution is still needed. As you've seen with the almost stale air and low pressure systems that have passed through for many areas, this weather isn't going anywhere, and it hasn't been going anywhere, and it's not going to go anywhere for the next few days. In some areas in the East Coast, this is going to be here for a little while because you guys might see below normal temperatures. So this is going to stick around for a little bit in the East Coast. I want to hear what it's like where you guys live. So comment or DM if you're interested to see the specifics with us. So we're going to go ahead and look at, what's going on mid-February. So this is the GFS 6-hour average precipitation rate forecast map. So this is what we're going to see over time. This is the GFS model. This is what we use a lot for predictions. Even though for this ice storm recently we predicted this last snowstorm, the Euro model was the big guy in that. But we're going to take a look at the GFS. So as you can see, this lingering storm over here, if you can see my cursor, that's that storm that just hit this East Coast area and it's brought about a foot of snow into these areas. definitely we're going to continue to watch that. And it's still going to be going on for many days. So we're going to keep going through. So this is February 3rd. So whatever time you're watching this, this is February 3rd at 12 a.m. So this is what we're seeing here. You can kind of see some rain coming into southern areas like Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee. That will probably melt some of the ice down there if you're still with it. That'll be going in throughout the day till about 6, 7 o'clock. That'll end there in some areas, and then it'll continue to go on, and we could even see some snow in some areas like Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, areas like that. We could see that snow come into Indiana as well, Ohio even, and that all that rain and snow is going to be moving east. Some of Texas is going to get some of that rain, and then that's going to continue to move east as they connect. And East Tennessee, all those areas that kind of saw snow are going to get some rain, and that'll melt some of it, but not all of it, in East Coast area. And then you'll get some more snow coming North Carolina, February 5th. So you'll see some more snow coming in there at North Carolina after recently hitting one. And then you got another snowstorm developing up north near Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota area. And that is going to continue off to the east in Canada. And then it's going to try to make its way down. And that's when we'll see that snowstorm start coming over to the East Coast and hitting areas like New York, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, northeastern areas, maybe even stretch all the way down to Kentucky, maybe a little bit of East Tennessee. So then we're going to see that move off and kind of stick around up north in Maine, but it's going to move off. And then we're going to have a kind of quiet period. And if we're looking off west here, I'm going to go all the way back. It's quiet this whole time over here in the west as we see that rain and snow come in. A high pressure, it's going to be pretty warm over there. We've seen it be pretty quiet. And then we're going to have some rain move in to Washington area. And then it's going to continue to move into Oregon and all that. And so that's going to come in, and then we got another little snowstorm develop out of that. And that's going to be another story as we continue to see this winter weather come in. And this is what I was talking about a while ago, this big winter storm coming mid-February. That snowstorm developing over here in the west, and then another snowstorm with mixed precipitation in Illinois a little bit, not necessarily a big snowstorm. And then that's going to verge off February 10th. And then we're going to see more rain come in. And then that's when we see this low pressure system develop, and snow and mixed precipitation, ice, sleet, and a rain corridor February 11th. And then that'll continue to move off to the east. That can hit areas, Wisconsin, Michigan, that rain coming in all the way down Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, all those areas up to the Ohio Valley and Michigan area. You could see some snow up there, and then it's going to continue off to the east into Maine and some areas that have already been hit pretty hard, and then you can already see another low pressure system trying to develop over here, some more snow. Then you'll have more rain, another snowstorm, a lot of big low pressure systems coming in, developing over time. This is February 13th. That'll move off east, and then it'll keep going, this little storm here, down to the southeast, some of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, all that Tennessee Valley area. And that's going to move off. That's when we're going to see some big storms pop up in that area. This is February 15th, where we say, well, we're going to see that snowstorm. The GFS says otherwise. The GFS says we're going to get lots of rain during this corridor. But then this is where it gets a little interesting here. As you just saw when I just ended that, this is February 18th. This is as far as I can go. This is at February 18th at noon. You can see this little snow and sleet and rain area developing in Texas and Oklahoma and this area here. That's where we kind of saw the last big winter storm Fern, develop, and we may see another one come in. I've seen a lot of people talking about a mid-February, big snowstorm. I just talked about that, but the GFS says otherwise with that one. So that's why I said possible, but we're still continuing to watch that. So real quick, I'm just going to take a look at the Euro model and see what the heck the Euro model's saying for this. So as you can see, today is, from what I'm recording, today is February 2nd. This is what's going on there. So as you can see, we got that snow lingering out here, snow and rainstorm that just recently hit the East Coast, bringing about a foot of snow. And then we're going to have that little quiet period that I talked about between February 3rd and around February 3rd, we're going to have a big quiet period. Then the Euro's saying we could see some, of course, rain towards as we get into Tuesday. This Tuesday, whenever you're seeing this, we can get some rain, which we are expecting and predicting. And then it's going to linger around, keep going east, and bring in some more colder temperatures down for Wednesday, February 4th. And so that's pretty much what we're seeing there. And then, as I talked about a while ago, the Euro model's keeping it. The West is seeing a huge quiet period with a high pressure system, hot temperatures coming in. Now, as you can see, this little band here coming down into the south, this little band of cold weather here that's coming into the south. So we definitely are going to see this continue to move on. And then, as I talked about with the GFS, that snowstorm moving in a little south Wisconsin, Michigan area, moving east into Canada, and then could clip some of the northeast areas, New York, Pennsylvania, that area, and then move off. And then we got that rainstorm over here to the west on February 7th. That'll hit some areas, and then that's going to develop a new snowstorm that we talked about, while this other snowstorm is coming down from the Canada area, and that might hit some of Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and continue south into West Virginia, North Carolina, stall out there. And then in the west, like we saw with the GFS, we're going to see some snow come in from there in this area. So as you can see, that rain turns into snow from the west. We're going to see some colder temperatures in the northwestern area. And then another snowstorm up here towards Michigan is also what we're going to see as it continues to go through. And that's going to kind of stay off north a little bit. And then it'll kind of move a little eastern. And then this big snowstorm is kind of what they're talking about the week of February 12th. So, so we are continuing to watch it again. And as you can see, this snowstorm is moving in off from the west. We saw that rain come in from that quiet period. Some rain coming down here in south as that snowstorm comes in. And this is what people have kind of been talking about with this big snowstorm that could hit the south. But I'm not necessarily seeing it from what I'm seeing. It may hit up north, Michigan, Wisconsin. And the GFS has got it a little more south, hitting a little more south than the Euro's got it. So the Euro was a big play in the last snowstorm. So we can't necessarily say that this is going to happen. but it's expected to happen. We'll see what happens as it moves off northeast, and then we got again some rain, lingering rain with that, and then that'll move off east, and then again, like we just saw, we're gonna have a huge storm blow up. Not necessarily what we see in the winter. This could be outbreak of thunderstorms in the south area. I mean, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana, all under the gun for this thunderstorm. And it's going to move in, and it's going to be a huge thunderstorm, a low pressure system that's going to move in as those warmer temperatures come in to the U.S. This is February 14th, Valentine's Day on Saturday, February 14th at 12 a.m. Those storms are going to move in and continue, and they'll be moving through off to the East Coast. And once they hit the East Coast, they're not going to be as bad. But Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, y'all could see some big storms. Even up to the northeast, it could stretch. So we're definitely going to be watching that as that moves off east, and even some snow coming in. And then we got more snow coming off from the west again, and it's just going to continue moving down east, and then we're going to see more and more snow. And then the eastern part of the U.S. is going to see a huge outbreak of warmer temperatures on February 17th. And this is where we end on the Euro model on February 17th. And there's where we end, is that snowstorm that we were seeing on the GFS. So we're going to go ahead and look at our temperature, our 10-day temperature outlook. All right, so this is our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is valid February 8th through the 12th. As you can see, most of the U.S. is going to be above average, and then the northeastern eastern area is going to be below average. This is something that we haven't really seen this winter. We've seen lots of below average temperatures, and if you didn't see, today, when I'm recording this on Monday, February 2nd, it's Groundhog Day, and Phil predicted that we're gonna see 6 more months of winter, and he may be wrong actually, because from this we're seeing above average temperatures, and we're gonna continue to see that. We'll see that up and down of below average, above average, and then we'll get into that above average in March is what we're expecting. So that's what we're going to see. And then we're going to look at our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Above average in the west and near normal and below average in the east. So that's our precipitation. This is February 8th through 12th. That's what we could see with precipitation type. We may see some droughts in some areas. We can go ahead and look at our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This is from February 10th to the 16th. And we're going to have above average temperatures and near normal temperatures covering most of the U.S. And this is around the time that we have that big storm hitting this southern area, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. That's when we'll kind of see that storm, that big thunderstorm pop up, and we'll get more information on that as it continues to come out from the National Weather Service. But we're going to see above average temperatures and below in California, and that's going to be the area more western near that area. And then we'll have above average temperatures in most of the U.S., and we'll continue to see that. We can look at the drought monitor, here. So you can kind of see a little bit of drought there in some areas. That's what I was talking about with above average temperatures. We could see some drought and low precipitation in some areas. That is definitely something that we are going to watch with all these temperatures and things like that. That is all the weather talk I have for you today. Make sure you continue stay tuned, watching for us for this weather coming up, watching for another video for these thunderstorms that are going to pop here soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.